Sustainable development. Everybody's talking about it. But what do those two words really mean? Let's take a couple of minutes to see what sustainable development is all about. The idea first emerged in the late 1980s as a response to the world's growing social and environmental problems. With globalization, the inequality gap between rich and poor countries is widening every day, and the projections for population growth are alarming. How are we going to feed a total of 9 billion people in 2050? How can we offer everyone access to clean drinking water, healthcare, education? How can we protect biodiversity and take concrete action against climate change? How can we make sure that industrial development means progress for everyone? The proposed solution was a new kind of development, or rather a variation of the traditional model called, quite simply, sustainable development. The term was officially defined in 1987 as part of the preparations for the Rio Earth Summit. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Does that sound a little abstract to you? Let's put it this way. Sustainable development means that growth must be accomplished with respect for nature and humankind. And where is sustainability achieved? Right here at the crossroads of economic goals, social responsibility, and environmental protection. Now, are you wondering whether a company can combine respect for the environment, social equity, and commercial success? Well, the answer is yes. Not only that, but sustainable development creates value. Here's how. Upgrading production tools to use less energy and water is good for the environment and for the pocketbook. Offering eco-designed products and packaging that use just what's necessary saves materials and reduces shipping costs. Paying attention to employees, improving their quality of life at work, and helping them develop their skills all serve to strengthen their engagement. And stronger employee engagement means better overall performance. Creating products that are accessible to the world's poorest populations means opening new markets, the ones whose populations are going to grow the fastest between now and 2050. Monitoring the working conditions offered by suppliers and subcontractors means minimizing risks that could damage the company's image. As you can see, sustainable development affects just about everything. More and more companies today understand that they have important economic, social, and environmental responsibilities and are committed to making a difference. The ones that seize this opportunity to create value will find that their success is, in a word, sustainable.
The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is a global endeavour with 17 broad goals and 169 specific targets to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all. The implementation of these goals is tracked by a collection of 231 indicators. This video shows you how SCAP uses these indicators to measure progress based on data and evidence. Measuring SDG progress poses several challenges. Firstly, indicators are diverse and not comparable, thus requiring normalization as well as a general approach to predictions. Secondly, data for many indicators are missing or partially available. And finally, target values are not often defined. Nevertheless, SCAP has developed a methodology that addresses these challenges and enables development stakeholders to objectively track progress. Moreover, The results are a powerful advocacy tool highlighting achievements as well as gaps where efforts need to be focused. The methodology seeks to answer two questions: how much progress has been made so far, and are the targets going to be achieved by 2030? Let's start with the first question. Imagine that you are in the middle of a marathon and need to know how much of the total race you have already run. It's easy. Just look at where you are in relation to the start and finish lines. Tracking SDG progress is much the same. For each indicator, the starting line is the value of the base year, while the finish line is the target value. Therefore, the progress is the ratio of the distance from the base year divided by the total distance. We call this the current status index. Now that we know how we've performed, let's look into the future. Given what we know of the progress so far, if the
What is fact-finding? Fact-finding refers to the gathering of information. It is often part of an initial mission, that is, preliminary research. Fact-finding typically involves gathering facts or data for a subsequent full investigation or hearing. Fact-finding tries to establish the factors of an issue. A fact-finding tour has the purpose of ascertaining facts. For example, you may want to check the facts about France before deciding to break into the French market. You therefore carry out a fact-finding tour of France. In an inquiry or investigation, fact-finding is the discovery stage. During this stage, people gather information by using questionnaires and other survey tools. They then assemble all the data in a report and give it, perhaps with recommendations, to the investigator. In the public sector, fact-finding is common. A government or parliamentary committee may go on a fact-finding mission to discover and establish the facts of an issue. An advancing army will send out scouts to check the terrain ahead. They will look out for enemy soldiers, hostile terrain, opportunities, strategic advantages, etc. The scouts go on a fact-finding mission before the troops move forward. To recap, fact-finding refers to the gathering of information or data to ascertain facts. It is often part of a preliminary mission. A fact-finding mission is one whose purpose is to collect information about a specific topic, issue, or situation, especially for an official group. Thank you for watching this brief Markets Business News video.
Smile and learn.
Hey, today I'm going to talk about a very important topic, the Sustainable Development Goals. Do you know what they are? Stay right there and I'll explain them to you. The Sustainable Development Goals are a list of 17 priorities adopted by the United Nations and its member countries. The goal is to eradicate poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for all. Let's see what they are. Number 1, no poverty. Number 2, zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. Number 4, quality education. Number 5, gender equality. Number 6, clean water and sanitation. Number 7, affordable and clean energy. Number 8, decent work and economic growth. Number 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Number 10, reduced inequalities. Number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Number 12, responsible consumption and production. Number 13, climate action. Number 14, life below water. Number 15, life on land. Number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. Number 17, partnerships for the goals. Wow, that's a lot! Each goal has specific targets to reach by year 2030. To achieve these goals, we all have to do our part. Governments, businesses, and society too. In other words, each and every one of us. And how can we incorporate these objectives into our daily lives? Well, we should try to live in a more sustainable way at school, work, and home. For example, by improving our consumption habits, saving energy, or caring for the flora and fauna. Don't worry if you don't know where to start. It happened to me too. Luckily, the UN made a very easy guide called Saving the World, a guide for slackers. Isn't that a funny name? Let's look at some of its points. Turn off the lights if you don't need them, and talk to your family about unplugging appliances when they're not using them. You'll save a lot of energy. Take quick showers instead of taking a bath. That way you won't waste water. Recycle as many materials as possible. This helps to conserve natural resources. Use public transportation or ride a bike. This will reduce pollution. Donate things you don't use. They'll get a second life and will be a great resource for people in need. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Use a refillable water bottle. You'll reduce
Presenting Assessment of Learning of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Among the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, select one, then create your own plan on how to implement it successfully in the community you live in. This time, let's take a look on the 17 goals to transform our world by the United Nations. First, no poverty. Second, zero hunger. Third, good health and well-being. Fourth, quality education. Fifth, gender equality. 6. Clean water and sanitation. 7. Affordable and clean energy. 8. Decent work and economic growth. 9. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. 10. Reduce inequalities. 11. Sustainable cities and communities. 12. Responsible consumption and production. 13. Climate action. 14. Life below water. 15. Life on land. 16. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. And number 17. Partnerships for the goals. These are the 17 goals to transform our world by the United Nations. This time, comment down below your plan on how to implement your chosen United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Remember, select only one. You are free to express your ideas, just make them smart, specific, measurable, attainable, result-oriented, and time-bound. It is equivalent to 20 points. You may now begin. Good luck!
Did you know that the UN Sustainable Development Goals are a universal call to action that unites 193 countries around the world? If these global goals are fulfilled by 2030, life on Earth will be better for everyone. So, what are these goals? Eliminate poverty in all its forms. No hunger. Everyone should have safe, nutritious, and sufficient food. Everyone has equal access to healthcare, thus ensuring our well-being and a healthy life. Equal access to a quality education. Ensure gender equality where women and girls have the same opportunities as men and boys. By achieving these goals, each member of our society will be equal, safe, and happy. UN global goals also include access to safe drinking water and sanitation, access to clean energy that is safe for people and the environment, sustainable and stable economic growth. Everyone has a decent job, strong infrastructure, and the support of innovations. Lower inequality within and among countries. Cities and settlements be developed without damaging the environment and people. Achieving these goals will result in the well-being of people and our planet. We can further take care of our environment with the following goals: sustainable and safe production and consumption of products. Take urgent measures to reduce climate change and its impact. Ensure the sustainable use and protection of ocean and sea resources. Restore and protect Earth's ecosystems. By achieving these goals, we will form a society where strong institutions ensure peace and justice. It is important for everyone to be involved and to build partnerships for achieving sustainable development goals. You are part of this process. Demand the implementation of these goals. Take the lead and share information with your friends.
The next time you buy a canned soft drink, consider this. The aluminium tin can will always be recyclable. Unlike plastic, aluminium never deteriorates, no matter how often it's melted down and used again. Aluminium cans are so lightweight that it's hard to believe that they're made from a huge roll of aluminium sheeting that weighs 9 tons. The sheet is about 1.5 meters wide, and a roll like this is long enough to make 750,000 drink cans. The sheet feeds into a press that punches out round pieces that'll be formed into cans. The punch press actually performs 2 operations. It punches out a disc 14 centimeters in diameter, then bends it into a cup. What's left of the sheet gets compacted and sent back to the aluminium factory, where it's recycled into new rolls. The cup goes into a machine called the draw and iron body maker. A tool draws out the aluminium, forming the body of the can. The tool is lubricated so it won't tear the aluminium while stretching it. The lubricant also acts as a coolant, because the aluminium heats up as it's being worked. Once the body is formed, a trimmer cleans and straightens the edges. Now the cans move along, upside down on the conveyor belt, over to the washer. The washer performs a 6-stage cleaning. The first 2 washes are in hydrofluoric acid at 60 degrees Celsius. The last 4 washes are in deionized water, neutral water with no pH, also at 60 degrees. The cans come out of the washer and go under the hot air dryer. They're now shiny because the hydrofluoric acid wash removed a thin surface layer of aluminium. Next, a roller passes over the cans, coating the bottom rims with varnish. This coating allows the cans to slide easily on conveyor belts and in vending machines, and shows up as a blue ring under an ultraviolet light. The cans are now ready to be printed. This rotation printing system can apply up to 5 colors, one at a time. Then a layer of varnish is applied to protect the ink. Even in slow motion, it's a high-speed operation. And here's the actual speed. 1,800 cans per minute. Next, the cans fly through an oven that instantly hardens the ink and dries the protective varnish. Next, the machine sprays a water-based varnish on the inside of the cans. This creates a barrier between the drink and the aluminium, so the drink won't end up tasting like metal. It also prevents the aluminium from being eaten away from the inside by the acid in carbonated drinks. Next, the cans go through a machine called the
The Heinrich Böll Stiftung explains why the Energiewende is fundable and worth the effort. Germany's aim to show that a flourishing economy can switch from nuclear and fossil energy to renewables and still remain prosperous. A goal that has drawn global attention. Of course, there are skeptics who claim that the German Energiewende is almost impossible. Granted, the energy transition means high initial costs. Investments from small businesses and private citizens go mostly to solar and wind. The Renewable Energy Act of 2000 makes sure that everybody can join in. Take Martina. Tired of the constantly rising price of fossil fuel, she opts for renewables. In the beginning, Martina invests a lot of money in her solar array, but now she profits from her decision almost every day. The Renewable Energy Act states that the surcharge for 20 years guarantees her a payback for her investment. Martina also knows she helps to stop global warming. But it is not just about Martina. We all achieve independence from fossil energy distributors. And we have a choice between a variety of green jobs in a new business sector when we switch to renewables. Plus, once the investment has been made, solar and wind provide free energy, while the price of fossil fuel keeps rising. The Energiewende is affordable for Germany and will likely be affordable for other countries as well. Prices fell by more than half in the last 6 years. So you see, the more people take advantage of the renewables, the more favorable the panels become. Want to do it like Martina? For more information, please visit our website, energytransition.de.
At the grocery store, most foods come wrapped in plastic packaging. Not only does this create a lot of waste, but thin plastic films are not great at preventing spoilage. To address these issues, scientists are now developing a biodegradable film made of milk proteins. And you can eat it to boot. Led by Peggy Tomasula, the team at the U.S. Department of Agriculture developed an environmentally friendly film made of the milk protein casein. These films are up to 500 times better than plastics at keeping oxygen away from food. And, because they're derived from milk, they're biodegradable, sustainable, and edible. The researchers are presenting their work at the 252nd National Meeting of the American Chemical Society. Although the researchers' first attempt using pure casein resulted in a strong, effective oxygen blocker, it was relatively hard to handle and would dissolve in water too quickly. So they made a few improvements, adding citrus pectin into the blend to make the packaging even stronger and more resistant to humidity and high temperatures. The material has a number of unique applications. In addition to being used as plastic pouches and wraps, this casein coating could be sprayed onto food, such as cereal bars or flakes. Right now, cereals keep their crunch in milk due to a sugar coating. Instead of all that sugar, manufacturers could spray on casein protein coatings to prevent soggy cereal. Co-leader of the study, Laetitia Bonai, says the team is currently testing applications such as single-serve edible food wrappers. Individual dried soup portions, or instant coffee wrapped in the film, can be added to hot water where the film readily dissolves, eliminating the packaging waste. Because single-serve pouches would need to stay sanitary on store shelves, they would have to be encased in a larger plastic or cardboard container to prevent them from getting wet or dirty. Tomasula and her team hope that, in the future, their casein-based film can help foods keep fresh during shipping while decreasing the amount of plastic waste entering landfills. Headline Science is produced by the American Chemical Society. For more on the latest chemistry headlines, subscribe to the ACS YouTube channel.
In our day-to-day life, we face small actions that can make a big difference for the environment and for our pocket. For example, when choosing lighting for the home, did you know that LED bulbs can be a great saving over conventional bulbs? They consume less, so having them turned on for the same length of time means less spending at the end of the month. This way, we can save almost $220 a year while we contribute to energy savings. For short trips, the bicycle is a better option than the car. Aside from saving money on gas, the bicycle is a zero-emissions vehicle, while the car consumption increases as you go, emitting up to 1.7 kilograms of carbon dioxide every 10 kilometers. In the kitchen, we can also reduce costs. A simple action like covering the pot while cooking is a saving of 25%, or even 50% if we use the pressure cooker. This way, we can save the money here covering the pot and using the pressure cooker. We continue taking care in the kitchen. Recycling used oil prevents severe environmental damage. Did you know that 1 liter of oil pollutes 1,000 liters of water? Furthermore, the recycled oil can be used to make soap, fertilizer, or fuel. When shopping, we can contribute to sustainability. Always look at clothing labels and buy fair trade products which guarantee respect for biodiversity and the workers who have made the garment.
I think they can be even prouder of the commitment that we are now making, leading the world to tackle the threat of climate change.
Something odd happened in the UK in November. Prime Minister Boris Johnson banned the sale of new fossil fuel-powered cars from 2030. The strange thing is, the decision received support from powerful business groups like the Confederation of British Industry, and it even got the backing of Royal Dutch Shell. Yes, the oil giant. How did these champions of market-driven policies become promoters of such heavy-handed intervention? One reason may be straightforward. The UK has a legally mandated goal to reach net zero emissions by 2050, which means cutting emissions from all sectors of the economy, including transport. The government's own advisor recommended the ban last year, and maybe Johnson just accepted the advice. But there is perhaps a deeper reason too. Vaclav Smil, who is one of the world's foremost scholars on the energy transition and one of Bill Gates' favorite authors, says as long as established sources work well, are readily available, and are profitable, their substitutes, even those with clearly superior attributes, will advance only slowly. Electric cars are quieter, more powerful, and much better for the environment. In recent years, for those who drive long distances daily, they've also become cheaper if you factor in the cost of fuel. And yet, you don't see electric cars everywhere just yet. That's because adopting a new technology isn't just about weighing the pros and cons. People tend to prefer the devil they know and often resist change. All through the Industrial Revolution, for example, working animals, watermills, and steam engines all coexisted. Even though steam engines were far superior, old technologies like old habits find a way to stick around. If the UK provided no new incentives, the share of electrics in sales of new cars will be up from 4% today to 56% by 2030. That's rapid growth, but not fast enough for the net zero deadline. The UK has left cleaning up the transport sector to so late that a ban on new fossil fuel-powered cars is needed. So Johnson's move is certainly a heavy-handed intervention, but at least it's not going against the tide of technology and economics. It's simply accelerating the transition in the direction that market forces were already heading. This is Net Zero. I'm ch03. Follow us on Quick Take and Bloomberg.